Hello. Hi. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. We're going to do a little peekaroo at the energy. This isn't going to be a very long reading. I grabbed two different tarot decks that don't have any pictures. They're only words. So let's see what would be helpful for you to know about the overall situation going on. This reading's timeless. Whenever it finds you, it's the right time. See what resonates, leave what doesn't, and always follow and trust the divine inner guidance that is in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition. So your decisions are sound and based in love and for the highest and greatest good of everyone. So we are all uplifted in love. Let's begin. See what comes through and would be helpful for you. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. What messages would be helpful for you today? For the viewer watching this reading, that you have to recognize the difference between strength and ego. Sometimes it's having a healthy ego that is strong. Sometimes it's your ego getting in the way of vulnerable strength that would be more beneficial. Maybe some of you are connecting to a lion energy, but this is looking at the difference between overpowering and just exuding strength. This could be, an internal battleground that either you or someone you're connected to is going through right now. Hear how they see themselves. I'm not sure what that means. Maybe somebody's changing how they always saw themselves, their idea of what strength actually is. Maybe somebody is recognizing that ego got in the way of a certain decision or a certain direction or an opportunity or experience. It could also be where somebody has to have a lot of strength to go in a different direction. Balance between the head and the heart. I just thought of the cowardly lion. So maybe somebody is recognizing that where they thought it was strength and strong was actually a cowardly decision. That's interesting. What else? What else would be helpful to know about right now? Maybe it takes a lot of strength for someone to change their pace. This is, I think we should slow down. Maybe that's also how you feel. Maybe you have to say that to somebody that was maybe trying to push a situation too fast or push a situation in a certain direction. Maybe it takes a lot of strength to say, whoa, Nelly, whoa, gonna change the pace here. It could also be where you were on a certain pace and somebody had to slow down. Usually if somebody wants to slow down, it's because they feel like something is too much or too overwhelming, or because they truly do care and they want something to unfold naturally. They want something to work out in its own timing, which is actually very strong. So maybe that's something somebody said to you, or maybe that's, a same page situation you and someone can get on if you're going at a different pace than somebody else. Maybe somebody's natural rhythm is just different than somebody else's, and that's okay as long as you can communicate and talk about it. What else would be helpful for the collective to know right now? Please and thank you. On 8 and 7. Also, that's the 8. I think this is like major arcana. This is more an everyday situation, but there is something about backtracking or, taking a step back. And I feel like that is healthy. I don't feel like it's going to stall some progress. I actually think it's going to make something stronger. What else would be helpful to know about right now, please and thank you? Is there any other messages from this tarot deck? Oh, that's really all right. So somebody is maybe even in their ego in a different way, because all of a sudden they see you in such a beautiful light that it's almost like somebody has, I feel like there's somebody here that likes to be really strong, that generally is really strong, but there's a situation where maybe connecting to you, somebody's confidence is actually lacking a little bit. It's almost like they don't believe that they deserve you, or you are too good to be true. Either there's somebody that you think is just so phenomenally beautiful. Maybe that's why you want to take something slow to make sure that it's stable and secure and unfolds naturally, and it's not just about maybe immediate chemistry. Maybe for some of you, this strength is also because I'm getting kind of with that ego judging a book by its cover. It is very possible that somebody thinks, whoever this is, that another individual, because they're so gorgeous, so beautiful, that maybe they want something, or they're gonna get hurt by this person, or there's no, rhyme or reason why this person would choose them. Somebody has to believe that if somebody is there and recognize that actual energy exchange, the authenticity behind it, to see if there is a match. You're so beautiful. Why do you need me? Maybe somebody thinks that the reason they show their strength is how they can provide, or they've always had people around them that want something from them. So maybe that's why somebody wants to take a situation a little bit slower. That's actually very powerful. Somebody does have to get their, they do have to get their confidence back here, though, but maybe that happens over time. If a partnership is super strong, it's interesting because I feel like whoever this person is that somebody else is seeing as gorgeous also has insecurities. But I feel like those insecurities, or those things that someone's not so comfortable with, the other person thinks are amazing, gorgeous. They actually put them on a pedestal, like, no, all of that about you is so perfect. And yet that person also has insecurity. So maybe this is a situation where you can become more secure together, and I feel like that will just take time. That takes experience. Somebody's seen you in the morning with your hair all gray and your toothbrush hanging out of your mouth, and the stretchy pants that are half down your butt and one sock on. And I still feel like whoever that is, the other person sees it as beautiful, and it probably does go both ways. So maybe there's somebody that just needs a little time. I'm getting time more than pretty words or compliments. I feel like that's beautiful, but maybe a little superficial. I feel like it's more, if it's about a compliment here, it's about something that's kind of like that compliment on the thing that the person is insecure about. But I don't feel like it's because the person was talking about it. I feel like it's just kind of a natural thing that comes out, but hits somebody really deep and beautiful. Now you have a 987. Maybe it's a 789 if there's a progress here. Let's get one more. One more from this deck. Wow, it was really quick. Yeah, it's time to ground yourself. That's really beautiful. I think that's why something is slowing down. And if somebody was lost in their ego, or even in materialism, or trying to have a handle and control a situation, the best way to get in control is get grounded and release control. Just let it be. Let it grow. Let it grow its deep roots. You see this? The light's kind of weird. Time to evolve. Seasons to change. Experiences to have. So let's go to this kind of a similar-ish tarot, but let's dive a little deeper for you. So what is this overall situation? And if you feel ungrounded, maybe something's moving too fast, or somebody is used to being in control, connect with nature. A good way to ground yourself is just to go outside and put your bare feet on a rock, put your bare feet on the ground, be in nature, walk your dog, meditate, listen to the birds, listen to the crickets, Adjust even something in your schedule if you feel like something is taking off too fast or pulling you too fast, or you're running on empty. It's giving yourself time to plug yourself back in, come back down to earth. Okay, tell us about strength. I think we should slow down. There's also a ... so there's more conversation to have about that. You are so beautiful, and why do you need me? And time to ground yourself. Maybe this is even a partnership that was kind of in la la land, or talked about, dreamt about, but maybe never got grounded. Maybe that's what's coming through here. And maybe it's about to make some magical experiences in your life. You have the Magician. So in order for this to work out, you have everything you need right now with who you are, the talents you have, the tools around you, the ideas you've already talked about or are coming in to figure something out as you go. The Magician's beautiful. The Magician is also Gemini, Virgo kind of energy. It's where you manifest, but it's bigger than that, because when the Magician is tapping into the ether, prana, spiritual energy, what they manifest is not just superficial magic tricks, pulling the rabbit out of the hat. It's spiritual energy. It's spiritual light. It is as above and down below in a beautiful mirror. It's saying that you don't need to have more to start, to begin. It's also the energy of being okay with trying to figure it out as you go. If you mess up, you do it a different way and you adjust. I'm starting to notice all sorts of signs and synchronicities and coincidences and realize my own power. Interesting, because I pulled that on strength. Somebody's recognizing their own power in creating them. I'm working on manifesting you. So there's somebody who either met you, or this is somebody who's just working on themselves right now in their own projects, doing their own thing that really inspires them, and they're wishing for a partnership, but maybe they haven't met you yet. Maybe you're manifesting this person too. Maybe if you guys meet with that one, that's a brand new beginning. Maybe you can start to manifest dreams coming true together, as well as individual dreams on your own. Because we're not here to just manifest by ourselves. We have help from spirit. We have help from other people that come in to help these dreams come true. It could be where if you have this ego getting in the way, or a magician that tries to manipulate energies for selfish gain, or pulls the wool over their own eyes on the truth of what they can handle or what they can do. It's almost like somebody can stop themselves from these dreams by getting in lack mentality, by saying, oh, but it never happens like that, or I've tried that 400 times, it's just going to be the same way next time. Well, if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you probably can't. It's arts in the mind. But this is somebody who has that energy to ground themselves. They have all the tools, the pentacle, they have the clarity with communication and the ideas and the inspiration and the conversation and the intelligence with that sword. They have, that seed to plant in the ground to grow roots. They have that cup of love that they have to take and fill up themselves. So filling yourself up, or whoever this is, filling themselves up with things that bring them joy, that bring them pleasure and happiness in their life. Not constantly running around with a big old empty cup and saying, I need to find somebody to fill my cup, I need to find somebody to fill the cup. No, find that endless fountain and you fill it up yourself. And the way you do that is tapping into your intuition, really embracing all of the emotions through different situations to help you navigate, and going towards the energy of love and joy. And then you have that wand of fire And interesting, in the traditional magician card, he's holding that wand, and it is almost like a candle that's burning at both ends. So maybe there's a meeting in the middle, or maybe it's not burning your candle at both ends. Maybe just slowing down and doing one thing at a time. Magician's pretty powerful. And if somebody's noticing more signs and synchronistic energy, the more you notice, the more it actually happens. When somebody's not conscious of the connection to, wow, that's so weird, the thing you were just thinking about, or the thing that you were just dreaming about, or the thing that you just heard a conversation about really appears in your life as an answer, or just a synchronistic moment, like the next hour or the next day. Somebody who's just like, oh, that was weird, and then just kind of bypasses it, is not really, almost like committing to, no, that's the universe trying to connect you to signs to get you in a path to show you that the things that you're thinking about can unfold in your life, that you are a co-creator here on earth. So what are you co-creating? Is it with the ego and materialism and what society says, or are you tapping into deep dreams in your soul that feel like magic because maybe in the past you or whoever this is, they thought they can never have or accomplish? It's believing you can, because you can do this. And I don't feel like this is just about a partnership here. I feel like this is about a project or something that you really want to embrace in your life. So let's just make this balanced, and that'll be our reading. Here's another message. Nope. I'm only going to take it if it flips. If it's supposed to come out again, it will. Here's another message. Please and thank you. You have the Four of Wands. Those are the moments you want to remember. That's a marriage. That's a wedding. That's a beautiful platform. That's like a stage you can dance on. Those are the moments that you look back and you know they were magical moments in your life, and you feel so much gratitude that you said yes to that dance, that you welcomed that energy or that experience in your life. Sometimes I see that as even buying a home. Sometimes that is a divine partnership. It's also where there's a lead up to, maybe a lot of planning before that wedding, and there's a cleanup after, or a honeymoon after. So be in each moment as you are there. I feel comfort and joy in your presence, and I feel appreciated for all of my hard work. It's whatever I just said about leading up to something, or leading up or building a relationship to get to that moment. But then it's not that moment and then you're done. What's after? That's still to come. But there's somebody coming in your life or in your life that I don't think they always had that appreciation of all of the things that they did and they put a lot of strength into. I feel like it's almost somebody who recognizes that you have a beautiful, true gratitude to the small things, not just the big things. It's being in somebody's presence. Thank you for remembering that I like a bagel in the morning and coming here, because I was running on empty and I didn't grab anything. Thank you for, buying flowers for no particular reason. Thank you for getting up and going to work every day and really committing to and building something together, whether that's a project you're working on with someone, or that's just that somebody called you when you were going through it and they were there to just listen and not fix something. Whatever it is, this is beautiful appreciation. That's why somebody maybe even feels comfortable with that vulnerability around you and recognizes that that is strong. I'm even getting that somebody who doesn't typically talk about the things that they are insecure about feels more secure talking to you. And that could be somebody's fears or somebody's true desires and wishes. Maybe somebody always felt like they would be judged, or that would be silly, or it would show them as weak if they expressed the truth of why they do something a certain way, or feel weird when this happens, or have this quirk, you know. I didn't even read the rest of this card. I feel comfort and joy in your presence, and I feel appreciated for all of my hard work. It's so easy to relax when I'm with you. Maybe that's why somebody's also slowing down, because they feel relaxed in your energy. Maybe somebody is burning the candle at both ends and always feeling like they're running on empty. And this is a beautiful space of tranquility you will, or are, or do bring into somebody's life. And maybe that's your message for somebody else. I did say something before about somebody like with their hair all cray-cray, like one sock on and the toothbrush hanging out of their mouth. You know, the pimple patch on their thing, but they still feel beautiful with all that around you. Maybe they normally wouldn't. I think that's really nice. Get another message. Just another message that would be helpful, please and thank you. You have a Knight of Swords. You have somebody that wants to have a conversation. Somebody wants to communicate or open their mind with you, brainstorm with you. Maybe you open up someone's mind or they open up yours. This is somebody who wants to have an experience that stems from, derives out of, or inspired by communication, conversation, you know, mental stimulation. This is somebody who could have had the old blinders on and those blinders got ripped off. This is somebody who maybe generally does move very fast, but maybe this is a Knight of Swords that's learned to get off the horse and mosey on a little bit different, more like the Knight of Pentacles. This could be somebody who had a hyper focus on something and they've learned to relax, you know, adjust their terrain and what they see and see the bigger picture. It could also be someone who always looked at the bigger picture, the whole map, but never had a clear direction. They were kind of all over the place. Generally, this is a very fast energy. It's an air sign. It's quick communication. I feel that's why somebody is different. It's almost like that's why this grounding energy is coming through, or maybe you're the grounding energy to somebody always moving fast. I have decided somebody is, you are so beautiful. Why do you need me? Well, someone's made a decision here. I have decided I want to pursue you. Nothing's going to stop me. Maybe something stopped them before. Maybe it was their own ego. Maybe they had to take a few steps back and slow themselves down a little bit and see exactly how to go in a direction so that it would work. Maybe somebody here gained their confidence. All of a sudden their mindset has changed and they recognize this is a chance they don't want to let slip through their fingers. Maybe somebody is recognizing that you are exactly who they manifested their whole life. But maybe you are so different from what they thought you would be that somebody had to kind of, you know, make some adjustments to realize, no, you're exactly what, even though you're exactly nothing like what they thought. Maybe not what they thought they wanted, but maybe exactly what they needed. Expect soon a lot of action from my part. Knight of Swords. So if this is somebody that, maybe that's why you gotta ground yourself. Maybe this is someone that isn't typically the take charge, take the reins kind of person. Or maybe they did and they released those reins too fast. This looks like somebody who, you know, they're saddling up and they want to come towards you. They've made a decision. Nothing's going to get in the way. Nothing's going to wedge in between them and their goal, which is apparently you. I just thought of that song by, I think it's MODJO. And I don't know why I just thought of The Music Sounds Better With You by Stardust. Ooh, baby, I feel like the music sounds better with you. That one, I love that song. All right, Let's see. Also, it could be Gemini. The Gemini twice now. Aquarius, Libra, Leo. Maybe even a fire sign here, or earth signs. It looks like we got a lot of elements here. Beautiful. Clarify the Knight of Swords, Four of Wands, the Magician. So now you have a court card, a minor arcana, a major arcana. Technically 2 major arcanas. One more message, please. What's the final message? What is that? Ooh, you got a devil. I feel like this is a sassy devil. I feel like the devil might have been what was getting in the way before too. The devil may have been, I feel like this is so dark. I need to put on my glasses. Where are they? Could just be a Capricorn that you are connecting to. It's hard for me to face my pain. That's what I saw with someone being vulnerable. This is someone who doesn't want to appear as being weak. And I feel like for some reason they're comfortable with you in a way where you're showing that that's not you being weak. That's you being a badass. That's you facing all those things that, you know, you think are so scary, but you just shove it under the bed. That's opening up and facing something so that changes can be made. This could also be someone that sees you in a lot of sassy energy. Someone that really, you know, because sometimes that's a lot of sassy, sexy kind of energy that happens when the devil comes through. It always has a slightly different meaning. It depends on the rest of the reading. It's hard for me to face my pain, so I indulge in short-term pleasures or substances. I know it's not good for me, but I can't stop. So this is somebody who, maybe that's why you have to ground yourself, or maybe that is why somebody is learning that strength is something to embody in a different way where it has more equilibrium and more balance. If this is somebody that was in situations in the past where rather than face those emotions that I saw with that cup, or face the fears of what they can't change or can't control, this is somebody that felt more in control if they possibly numb themselves. This could be somebody who has some habits, maybe it could be a drinker, a smoker. I just thought of the Joker. I'm a smoker, I'm a joker, I'm a midnight toker. Maybe it's about lightening up something. This has to be somebody that has the willingness and the strength to make changes. Sometimes this is where you just need to make a tiny little, you know, tweak or two, and that changes everything and brings something back into balance. Sometimes this is a cut it out cold turkey situation, but it does have to be the self-awareness someone has on what was chaining them in and or restricting them from something that was healthier. So this could be somebody starting to exercise, starting to eat healthier, starting to drink a little more water, maybe taking some time off of work if they're burning the candle at both ends. Whatever it is that was the too much energy, that was a substitute. It could be where somebody doesn't want to think about their emotions or think about all the things they want to start here, so they do mindless projects, or they make themselves really, really busy so they don't have to really sit with themselves. Sometimes that's hard. I feel like whoever this is, they want to sit with you. I also feel like whoever you are connecting to, the reason they feel so comfortable here is because there's no chains that you're holding on someone. You're being in this energy of freedom. Like, I'm going to get up and dance. If you don't want to get up and dance, you can watch me. I feel like this is somebody who generally would sit on the sidelines and say, no, that person's so beautiful, they'd never, or they're so handsome, they're out of my league. They never say yes. The one that's going to get the yes is the one that believes that they're the, you know, it's that big D energy, you know, that powerful, like, boss lady energy, bad bitch energy, you know, believe it. You have that confidence. That's half or most of the battle. It's not the person that has everything. Sometimes the person that has the most or looks the cutest, you know, you can talk to someone. You think they're the like from far away, like, oh, that person is so good looking or so handsome or so beautiful. And then you can talk to someone and they have no personality, or they're just not funny, or they're just completely in ego land, or really selfish, or really mean and nasty. All of a sudden, that person's energy overpowers the pretty. You can have somebody that you think is not your type, or think is, not your typical one that you are attracted to. And then what if you have the best banter ever? This person opens up your mind and keeps you on your toes, and even when you're around their energy, there's something about them, you can't quite put their finger on it, but even when they have a toothbrush hanging out of their mouth, man, that person is sexy. And sometimes somebody that you may have bypassed or looked at that cover of the book, you don't realize how interesting that story is inside unless you open the chapter. And sometimes somebody can grow into the most beautiful person you ever have seen. Sometimes it's a right away thing, and it's a complete whole, you knew when you saw that cover that there was more going on under there, but you still have to slow down and be in each page as it happens. I'm going to clarify that with one more. I was going to stop there, and this was going to be a short reading. Welcome to this channel. We go with the flow. So let's get a little clarity on the devil, just because that is a big energy. Why is that coming through? I feel like that's what's being released. It comes through when someone's to face it. Clarity on the devil. It could also be that somebody is working on these habits or these situations or whatever right now, getting themselves into a higher vibration, where that's part of why somebody's getting more grounded, getting more organized, getting more in balance, saying yes to more things that are healthy and joyful and happy in their life. Maybe even diving into the shadow side that's healing some of those facets they didn't want to face before, and that's why you are being manifested into somebody's life pretty soon, or already have been. Clarify the devil. Just a little more, please. The Ten of Wands. Yes, somebody's releasing the chains. They're releasing the weight. Somebody may have been in that energy of control and having to prove that they can handle everything and took on too much. The Ten of Wands is generally where somebody feels the weight of the world on their shoulders. And if somebody feels the weight of the world on their shoulders and they're doing something here that is their relief, it's now where they're not making the changes needed to release the weight, and the relief is becoming even more of a weight. When somebody's at the 10, it's an ending. When someone's at the 10, they figured something out that was so heavy and hard that they learned to work smarter, not necessarily harder, but sometimes you don't learn that lesson until you do it the hard way. Sometimes that's someone who's very unorganized, and they got the things that are being, that feel too messy out of their life, get a little organized, and all of a sudden it flows better. That's somebody that was trying to push big rocks up a mountain, and they could have brought a wheelbarrow. They could have put it in the car or the trunk of the, truck. I guess it would be the back of the truck or the trunk of the car or the boot, depending on what country you are in. Maybe somebody had to give someone the boot. I just heard these boots are made for walk-in. I tend to take on more tasks. That's whatever I said, burning the candle at both ends. And that could be an ego thing, or trying to prove something to themselves, trying to prove something to someone else. I feel like the nice thing about the energy coming in is there's no need to prove anything. Maybe it's just doing it, making changes. There's somebody that took on more tasks than they can handle. So I can just say message. So it just verified that message again. I looked at that 34, so that I can distract myself from my feelings until I fall into exhaustion or illness. Sometimes this is somebody that just needs to ask for help. Get rid of your ego. Know if there's help out there, there will be. That somebody has decided that even if it's not out there, they need to help themselves. This is somebody that generally in the past was in a negative mindset or really scared. Maybe that's why somebody wanted to slow down, to feel a lot, because when you feel a lot, that means you can lose. That means you could hurt. That means your heart could be broken. That Four of Wands is recognizing that even with a broken heart, having that experience in your life is worth the pain. And any pain you go through tis life, sucky as it may be, is where we learn the most. We still look back with gratitude to those moments where the clock melted, you said yes, the magical memories of your life. If somebody is constantly avoiding them by doing things they're not even really involved with, really into, overwhelmed by, that's somebody that ends up looking back later with usually some regret that they didn't just change sooner, that they didn't let something go sooner, that they didn't think about how to do something in a different way or learn from how they did it wrong in the past. I feel like this is somebody who doesn't want to regret where they are now and going into the future, and when, even if it feels like an impossible dream or a beautiful gift from heaven is gifted to them, they don't want to let something slip through their fingers this time. So let's get you one final message from the universe, please, and thank you. I hope you enjoyed this reading today and this was helpful. If some of these were not your situation, you may have somebody coming in pretty soon. Maybe it's giving you a little clarity on a lot of stuff that somebody has gone through to get to you. Or maybe you can be that positive influence in someone's life to get a little more grounded, or be inspiring to believe in someone, to accept them exactly how they are. Nobody is perfect. We all got some weird, we all got some things we gotta learn and grow from. And we're all beautiful too. This is somebody who's gonna really see how beautiful you are, how special you are, how special they feel around you, and how different it is from where they were. Remember, they feel light and joy and appreciation, and the hard work they do. Obviously, this is someone who works hard. You have two things here saying they work hard. The fact that you just appreciate that alone, that you're not looking for them to prove anything, maybe that alone releases a lot of that heavy energy over here. One day, when you least expect it, you're going to crash into someone who is going to be so soft and gentle with your heart. And you're going to be so glad that you kept it open. Maybe this is somebody who learns to open their heart with you. And maybe that's really unusual, and that is a fear that they always had. Maybe every time they open their heart, whether that's childhood or past lives, or they don't even know why they act like that they feel like that hurt is too scary. I feel like you are going to be somebody who helps release somebody's fears. And if that's you, that typically puts a big, block up on your emotions, or block up on possible new situations, or only looks at the cover of the book and doesn't really want to open it. It might be a scary book. What if it's a romance of a lifetime in there? What if it's an adventure of a lifetime? You don't know until you open it up and see. And I feel like somebody might be helping you open up that book. You're going to be so glad that you chose to believe it deserved more. That's this. If somebody was in that energy of accepting less than they deserve, or settling, or believing that something so amazing is right in front of them, a gift like God, could never possibly work out, they're closing their hands to that blessing that is a gift from God. Here, this is somebody that's open-armed and saying, thank you, God. I'm in. And that's what this person is deciding. Maybe that decision comes right away, and maybe it comes down the road for some of you. Maybe it's, many chapters before you really feel grounded, or before you really feel like those roots have settled and something gets to blossom and grow. But it's your story, and that's pretty exciting. Be in it. Be in the energy of gratitude. And with this, I am grateful for being here with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you very soon. And I guess that's it. Just thank you. I love you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.